Are you ready?
You can get it lifted. You can get it shifted. You can get it any old now.
Matter of fact, I got it now.
Big better.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that smooth toffee ice cream in the centre. Or that whole delicious golden gay time taste.
Hard to have a gay time on your own.
Streets go.
The Bogan force is too strong upon us. Our spirit is broken.
The Bogan is strong with you, but not nearly strong enough.
I am Lord Darth Vader, First Knight of the Sith, and right hand to His Eminence Prince Esper Valorum, the Master of the Bogan.
Let's see how you go with a can of beer up your exhaust pipe, mate.
What is up, my friends? It is that time of the day again, or night, depending where you are. We're back. Collected a small slew of things for us to gab about, get your opinion on. And I hope you will join me and enjoy. I see some of you here in the chat already. I just was hanging out over on the Diaz Bros. I'm guessing they're going to end up soonish. I know they were looking at games, and I thought, you know what? I think it's time for me to go get a cup of tea. Mission accomplished. Why is my camera all off there? It shouldn't be showing. It shouldn't be revealing the magic, you know. There we go. Let's center it up a bit. There we go. Now I look professional. It's potato camp. What's going on with the internet? Actually, hang on. I'm on Wi-Fi. Let me turn that off. Hopefully that'll sort things out. Were the Diaz Bros on Potato Cam? I couldn't see that, but I was on Potato Cam yesterday. Randy Siplon, I saw a tweet from you earlier, and I was like, man, I haven't seen Randy in ages. Great to see you here. Let me quickly, what's going on? Where's all my comments? Oh, there they are. Quickly say hello to the people in the chat who came in first. Maromi was here. I shall honor him. If I can. Look at him staring down at us. Oh, also, now Maromi, you're Randy died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you've managed to find a connection in the afterlife. Now Maromi, I don't know if he's a pilot, but he certainly works in aviation. And I just want to shout out to my dad, who today celebrates his 50th year as a pilot, which is pretty crazy. Camera is shite tonight. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, it looks clear to me, so it's clearly it's a connection issue, but I have no problem with the internet. Like, everything's fine. I'm not running anything. What if I shut this down? Quit that? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to do anything. Yeah, 50 years. He started flying in 1975 and he retired, but then they needed pilots again after COVID. So he came back, but he was too old that he couldn't be a captain anymore. So now he just sits in the easy chair. He is probably the world's most experienced first officer, because usually you become a captain after like 25 years or something. So he was a captain for 20 odd years. But yeah, shout out to me dad. Hail Mo Biggs. Mo can't make it tonight, so I don't know. I don't think Mo catches replays, but shout out to Mo nonetheless. Felix Hutz, the link master. Thank you very much for posting those links. I'm gonna pin that, as I like to say. Where is it? Pin and message. And there we go. We've got Casey Anthony in the house. Citizen Ronan. I see Lord Ravener. Both late and gay. Is it possible to learn this power? It's a skill. It's a skill. What's up, Sumo Thori? I caught Sumo over on Phil's as well. I don't know what's going to go on with the camera, if it's going to fix. I mean, I'm not going to be this size the whole time. RippaWorks comic says Eric ran out of private equity money. Now he has to crowdfund future projects. We're going to talk about that a bit towards the end. I mean, I don't know how much there is to say about it, but it's something. A pilot, you can probably probably got a lot of well, I mean, not to go into it too much, but my parents did get divorced and he did marry a flight attendant, but that was many moons ago. They have a grown daughter now, so yeah. Father Bancroft is a regular Commander Rocket. Yeah, kind of now, because he's like number 2 forever. Did you see that Australia and the US are the same World Cup group? That's actually good, because is the US team good? Because we're kind of okay. Some years we go well, most years we don't. And I don't know if the US are contenders either. I'm like, they usually go well when it's sort of closer to the home. But anyway, things are going on. All right, I'm not waiting around for the Diaz Bros to end. I'm just going to share this. Look at this. I finished this up yesterday. My Harold, my Nordic. I guess someone in the chat said, is that Bronze Age? No, it's actually Iron Age. So pre-Viking warrior from the Iron Age, which is like extended to about 500 AD, I think. And I've got a name for him. His name is Harold. He will be a main character in a book I am writing the script in. Yes, USA is always best in the world at soccer. I don't believe you. Suma says, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be this size the whole time. The first time Bancroft has said that. All right. I'm sorry, Sumo. I just completely slaughtered that. I didn't get it until it was too late. USA isn't even the best team in North America. At least Casey liked it. But I'm happy with this guy. I think I did a short on him, the whole drawing process and everything. I like the tats on the head. I know I completely stepped over it. I apologize. Wouldn't even know anything about soccer, but I would pick Spain or Brazil. Brazil, Argentina, Germany, England. Lots of good teams out there. Not really Australia. Italy. Son of Fard. I asked, does anyone, so I needed names, because he does get a name in the book. He earns a name, like in these cultures, you could earn a name, like Harold Stormbreaker or something. He does earn a name. But originally he's just going to be Harold, son of. So you guys have been, you got like Harold, as in Arald. I like that. Son of Forrid. Snark already beat you to that one. I'm sorry, Paulus. Surgood. Hang on, there were more than that. Let me refresh this. Got tons more than that. What else we got here? Godfrey Magnus. The others must be on YouTube. How do I get into there? Okay. Odin. That's a bit. I think that's the one's taken already. I like Baldur. Hang on, you guys can't even see this. I like Baldur, Baldur, Harold, son of Baldur. I mean, that sounds cool, right? That's probably on the top of my list. Harold, son of Larry, KSS. I think you could do a bit better than that. He said, all right, how about Harold, son of Bjorn? Bjorn is a little, that's like ABBA, isn't it? And then there's also a couple of people who said Harold. So like Harold, son of Harold, which is I do like, Uhtred, son of Uhtred. Bob, Harold, son of Bob. Harold, layer of wenches. You see, that's more of an earned name, though. That's what you get when you've done it. Your drawing has really improved. Love to see it. Thank you, man. Yeah, I was loving drawing this. I haven't drawn for so long. I was just really getting into it. I was so excited to draw. And I think that came through. I really like how the this like leather strap thing came in. I'm like my journey of like putting in a lot more shadows and stuff. Pretty happy with Harold. So I've got 4 other characters I need to make images of. I mean, this is all for the future. It's all going to be happening sort of mid next year that I send a script off. But pays to get started early. All right, Cranberry, you're in the lead. If anyone can come to me with something better than Baldur, I don't know if it'll be you though. I think Cranberry might have it at the moment. Harold, son of Baldur. That sounds dope. I dig it. Geraldo of River. A little on the nose, Jay. Welcome to. We got a raid by the Zayders. Welcome everybody to the show. Thank you for the Zayd raid, Phil and Brandon. Great show tonight. I enjoyed the bants as I always do. Just checking out my Nordic Warrior from yesterday, all finished up. I hope you all watched and liked the short. I'm sure you all did. All right, let's get into the show. I want to start by discussing this, which is nothing to do with comics or anything, but it is, kind of. It's something dear to my heart, at least, which is 2 things, freedom of speech and the truth. And something pretty crazy happened in Australia this week. You see this stuff in the UK all the time, but it hasn't really happened to this extent in Australia until now. We have this thing called it's like a commission. I don't know. It's like you get hauled in front of them if you say naughty words on the internet. This woman, Kirley Smith, she's what is she? She's like I guess she's just sort of like an activist. She's like a personality on Twitter. That's what I know. She might have been someone else as well. But she did the awful crime of calling a man a man. And she was found guilty of unlawful vilification and made to pay $95,000 in fines. That double if she doesn't pay in 28 days. This is just outrageous. So, yeah, there's these 2 dudes that want to be called women, but Kirley refused to call them women, and now she's have to pay $100,000, and she's supposed to pin some apology to the top of all of her social media accounts or something. The decision, along with a High Court appeal for apprehension, they said it was violence. They said it's the word woman has been redefined to include males, and the words violence and vilification have been applied to speaking the truth about information in the public domain. That's what's crazy about it. Freedom of speech is a human right. And people throw around the word human right willy-nilly these days. They're like, housing is a human right. Food is a human right, without actually understanding what a human right is. It can't be a human right if it forces other people to, if it requires other people having to uphold it, so to speak. So speech doesn't. If you were alone on a desert island, you could still speak. Therefore, it is a basic human right. And not only that, that's why I just titled this thing. It's like, this is state-enforced lying. Regardless of what you think of the topic, and you all know my feelings on it, but That's what she believes. She believes, Kirley Smith believes that these people are men. And she's just saying the truth as she sees it. I mean, 99.99999% of us also think it's the truth. But the state says, no, that's vilification. That's violence. And now, so she has to pay. It's absolutely insane. So there she is. Shout out to the US, the one last and only place in the world left that actually has freedom. Jay says, when you uphold other people's mental ill delusions, asking people to lie to themselves and their own eyes and instincts, that's the really egregious thing. It's like the state is forcing you to lie under penalty of, crippling fines and potential jail terms. Like they'll send you to jail in the UK. That happens all the time. I don't think we've got that here yet, but this is like a step in that direction. INSOC, yeah, exactly. It took 30 years later, but we're kind of 2025, 1985. Same thing. What's up, Phil? Thank you for the raid. Very much appreciated, my friend. That's how they're getting rid of speech, claim it's violence. And you know what's also gross about this is whenever you watch the Senate hearings and stuff that they do, similar to the States, they don't look as fancy as what you guys have, with the big House of the Congress and everything. Ours just look like little meeting rooms. But nonetheless, the senators get in there and grill these people who make these laws. And they're just exactly how you would imagine they are. Just these middle management women types. And they can't justify or explain or specifically say why something is the way it is in the law. It's infuriating, but the laws are there and you can get fined crazy amounts of money. It's pretty nuts. What does Henry say? A woman got arrested in the UK for calling a man an effort. Yes, in a text to a friend. And you know what? What's really bad about that? So yeah, the guy physically or sexually abused her or something. Physically, she called him. You can't say it probably. I probably can't on YouTube. And the friend ratted her out, and 11 cops, 11, like that's SWAT team levels, went to her house, let themselves in. She was in the bath and were like, yeah, you got to come with us. And they were just standing around. She's naked in the bath because she sent a private. Do you know how many times Camel there has sent that word to me in DMs? A bundle of sticks. I wish I still had that. I don't know if I still have that clip anymore. I don't. It would be apt, but totally. It's see, I would get that $95,000 fine if I read that out, Moromi. I'm not looking to get that. I call Mike that all the time while in the tub myself. It's pretty much is like that. So yeah, I don't know what to do. There's nothing to do. I feel like all of our countries, you guys seem to be on the right track. Finally, mostly the things I'm seeing come out of the States. Every other Western country is on this track. And it doesn't matter how crazy it gets. People keep voting for this. And like people will say, oh, we didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did though. You did vote for this and you keep voting for it. And it's insane. I'm trying to share that story with American family. They can hardly believe it. It's a warning of, yeah, that's how quickly it can go. Because it was only 10, 15 years ago that there were senators standing up in parliament saying, you have a right to be bigoted. You have a right to say hurtful, offensive things. But now you don't. And that's only happened in 10, 15 years. So whatever you guys do not let anyone water down your Bill of Rights ever. We in the US very much value our individual freedoms. We were one of the few who had real pushback during the lockdowns. Yeah, no, we were like, put your boot on me harder, daddy. It was crazy. All right. I mean, I feel bad for Kira Lee Smith. There's not much I can do about it, but other than just shout it out, retweet it. I retweeted. I said that Star Trek thing. There are fallouts. It's exactly that. You must lie. Like, it's the state telling you have to lie. It's communism. That's full on Stasi stuff. Police aren't as bold when there's a chance of catching lead when they get out of line. Yeah, that's true. They have no fear here of that. Really. There's a movie out now called Eddington about how nonsense 2020 was. Oh, I want to check that out. Man, remember those days? COVID nights? What lunacy. It continues. It continues. All right. This is the big story. Everyone is talking about this. I want to see what you guys think about it. I know a lot of people are like, this is the end, doom and gloom. I made the thumbnail of Godzilla. It does feel a bit like that in terms of like entertainment and stuff. But really, I mean, so Warner Brothers, Netflix won the bidding war to buy Warner Brothers. What is the number? It's written here somewhere. $82.7 billion. Remember when Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion? We thought that was crazy. Elon bought X for $40 billion. This is $82 billion. I didn't go through and look everything that they get, but I'm like, Warner Brothers is a lot of stuff. It's got, remember when the Warner Brothers bought DC, everyone was talking about, all the little fingers and all the pies that they've got. I think Phil is right. This is the dawn of the megacorps from cyberpunk fiction. Well, you've got Disney and now you've got Netflix. There's Amazon and there's Apple. There are any other big, like, what are they called? Production companies. 82 billion. That's more than I make in a year. I know, me too, right? Deep pockets, these guys. But originally I was like, yeah, this is probably like, cause we're all still reeling over Disney. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago, the Simpsons thing with the mouse, like it felt like Disney was just going to own everything, right? That obviously didn't happen. They own a lot, but they don't own everything. And now Netflix is the juggernaut. Until all those IPs go public domain. They have ways. We know they have ways. It's like the Shadow Kingdom book. You can't call it Kull the Conqueror because people can trademark the individual characters and everything that basically is valuable. Like everyone thinking they're going to make Batman and Superman stuff, but it's going to have to be like Strong Man with nothing that actually identifies as Superman, Private corporate armies within 20 years. Yeah, probably. But I was thinking about this. I don't think Netflix is Disney. I don't think it's the same kind of company. I don't think they have the same approach. And I want to know what you guys think about that. Netflix has been showing the DC TV shows for a few years. Well, they can, I assume they can still license whatever they can license. That's my assumption. But Von tweeted this. This is sort of leading into what I'm thinking about. So 1997, DVD sent by mail. That'll never work. 2007, streaming. That'll never work. 2025, Netflix buys Warner Brothers. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's kind of a different kind of company. Like, Netflix has always been disruptive and ahead of the curve, right? First to market. I guess they were the ones who figured people are fundamentally lazy, or maybe I should say they're time poor, Netflix ruined JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with censorship. There's countless examples of Netflix effing up properties. I'm not disputing that. Countless examples. But there are also counter examples as well. So it is a massive company now with hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of things that they're kind of working on. There's bound to be failures, but there have also been successes. So Netflix did kill Blockbuster. They saw that people are time poor and they would rather just get the DVDs sent to them in the mail. And it worked. And they that's how they got their start. And then they were like, we're even going to go beyond that and do streaming. And they like being the first to, but the real first to like break big in that market. And then as soon as the technology was there, they were there taking advantage. Everyone was sick of downloading, what were those things called? Torrents, remember? And, you know, people were happy to pay if they just wanted convenience. Now, since then, let's think about Netflix. Like, I actually looked up this, right? Wednesday is not a new property. That's an existing thing. That's a remake. But like Stranger Things is a cultural phenomena. And that's ours. Like, that's our generation. That's one of the only few, really, that have really gotten big in our generation and become a massive hit. And yeah, that was Netflix. Actually, I look at a lot of these and I'm like, yes, some of these are really good. I loved Queen's Gambit. I thought that was good. A lot of this other stuff, I've never watched it, so I don't really know. I actually like Wednesday, but it's kind of trashy. But I looked at, like, these are all Netflix originals. House of Cards. House of Cards is friggin' brilliant. Orange is the New Black. Marco Polo was massive. At the time, Marco Polo was like the equivalent of Game of Thrones. They had to stop making it because it was costing them too much money. They were spending like $200 million a season or something ridiculous. Citizen Ronan says, we need to stop being precious about product and past pop culture. Create brand new things that are fresh. All of these places started from somewhere. This is why I'm saying, like, Disney stopped making new culturally relevant stuff and just started remaking their old stuff. It's like they became completely, they bought Star Wars and then they just Disneyfied it and it ruined it. They started ruining their own things. Whereas if I look at Netflix's catalog, there's actually like some pretty good stuff in here. There is, like Moromi said, there's some straight up trash. There is terrible stuff in there. The OA, a lot of people rag on the OA. The OA was one of the most original TV shows I even have in memory. And that was like some woman visionaries. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is a woman with a crazy idea who wrote this story, somehow got it made by Netflix, and they made this crazy TV show. It was kind of ahead of its time, I think. People weren't ready for it. I didn't see Disney doing that, you know? What other cool stuff do they have here? As we go down a bit, I don't know how it gets like, there is that another thing about the problem with Netflix that I find is there's so much crap on there that I don't know, I get kind of like, I call it the Chinese restaurant problem, where the menu is like a book and you get too much choice. You don't know what to watch. What's that TV show that I like? The Blue-Eyed Samurai. I thought that was dope. So that's like Netflix invests in that. Oh, there was that other one too. So apparently, has anyone seen The Trial of Chicago? I haven't seen that one. The Irishman I haven't seen. I don't know. I feel like I've seen that kind of movie enough, but apparently people like it. The Highwayman was great. Bird Box, I don't know. So was Frankenstein Netflix? Because it's on Netflix. Netflix just is just stuff thrown on the wall to see what sticks. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I think that's like, if you have the means to do that, they're really the only ones who are out there doing it. Well, I don't say the only ones. They're doing it in the big way. Like Apple actually does that too. Amazon Prime has done some okay stuff. I don't know. Disney is too busy whitewashing their IP to make anything new. Exactly. People are worried that this will be the end of cinema because Netflix won't release movies for the big screen. That's a fair enough. Yeah. If you're in that industry, absolutely. I think that's a perfectly reasonable concern. I don't go to the movies anymore. I guess, yeah, Netflix had that effect on me. Like, they really changed my movie and TV show consuming habits. Yeah, Blue Eyed Samurai was decent. Frankenstein was in theaters. But was it produced by Netflix? I don't know. It looks like this Pinocchio one was a Netflix original. The King, that was a good movie. Anyway, I'm just going to show, like, there's actually... Oh, Klaus is fantastic. See, like, this sort of stuff. I didn't see, like, Disney isn't making this stuff. Like, this should be Disney. This should have been Disney. This was a great movie. A new Santa movie. I think Disney also made the Christmas Chronicles, which is like this generation's Christmas movies. Anyway, obviously there is a lot of crap here, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not dooming on this. Dark was Netflix. I mean, the problem being, of course, Netflix also makes all that rubbish, you know, with they make those documentaries set in ancient Egypt where, you know, Cleopatra's a black African, you know? So, yeah, I'm not touting Netflix as this bastion of, you know, awesomeness, but I don't think they're Disney. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be good, because you would think the more companies that are out there that are viable, the more competition, things get better. When competition goes away, things tend to get worse. And naively, when Disney started becoming massive and started buying up all those things, I was thinking, great, because Disney were actually making good stuff back then. In the early 2000s, Disney were killing it with cool stuff. And then, you know, they just fell off. Klaus is legitimately good. Hollywood did it to themselves. Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is a hive of scum and villainy. That is true. But I think it's also just the times, you know. Matt Damon said that the reason that they don't, you know, when everyone says, like, oh, they don't make movies like that anymore. Who was I talking to? Was it Henry Bemis? What was that movie we were talking about the other day? Oh, The Prophecy. Just a little movie with Viggo Mortensen and that guy who played Casey Jones and who's that? Christopher Walken. Just a little, you know, weird movie. They just don't make that stuff anymore. Everything gets Netflixized or has to be a blockbuster. Christopher Walken. That's it. Yeah. And Matt Damon said it's because that they don't, everything has to be either a massive blockbuster to get the, you know, ticket numbers in the theater, and then they would sell them, you know, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. But that doesn't really happen anymore, and that's completely upended the whole, you know, base of the whole industry. That's what he said anyway. It sounds about right. Like, this whole, everything's changed now because the technology's changed, and Netflix just swooped in and became this massive titan. It's all about brainwashing now. There's a lot of that going on. But I also see, out of all these companies, it is Netflix and it is Apple mostly that I see that are just giving screenwriters a chance to make something good, like Stranger Things. There's like, all right, we'll give you guys this show. We'll give you this money. make something new. And they did, and it was awesome. Alongside all the other stuff as well. I haven't seen Stranger Things chapter 5, the season 5 though. So Netflix did make Cuties. Yeah, there is really bad stuff mixed in there as well. It's a massive company with lots of divisions, and yeah, there's gonna be some pretty despicable shit getting made as well. I think though that's always been made in Hollywood. There's always been gross, awful stuff that's been made. The difference is previously it was lots of different production companies, and now it's like we're getting towards a duopoly, essentially. I do envision a time in the future where, yeah, it really is just Disney versus Netflix. Could be a thing. Netflix will give us shite like Vikings Valhalla. There will be shite. That's like the new movie. There will be shite. There will be shite. But hopefully there'll also be good stuff. Do you think Avatar 3 will be... Avatar is the conundrum. Was that like the Avatar paradox? Where everyone watches Avatar. Everyone like pays to go see it or whatever. It gets hundreds of millions of views and everything. It's this massive deal. But no one really thinks about it. And no one really talks about it. But I think that's got to do with what Avatar is. It doesn't make you think. It's kind of like a feast for the eyes, but not much else, and it's a decent movie, but it doesn't really do anything else. Do you think DC will stop making comics? That's an interesting question. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because Warner Brothers owns so much. They were going around buying up everything. They own DC Comics. Avatar is crapatar. I don't mind Avatar. It's fine, but yeah, it really is just surface level. It's pure plot. It is pure plot and visual, candy or whatever. That's the problem. Yeah, without competition, they can charge whatever they want. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not dooming on this, but I am pausing to think. No, Netflix has done some good stuff. But then again, I remember I'd said that about Disney 15 years ago. So I could be completely wrong. Maromi says, I don't foresee Netflix publishing comics. Yeah, me either. Like, I would imagine, like, they are, out of all the companies, they are the forward thinkers. They're like, what's the new trend? We're gonna get first to market on the new thing. I don't see them investing money like on a loss leader, like publishing printed comic books. But I know DC's going well at the moment. Yeah, I don't know if they're making money or losing money, who knows, but I mean, they seem to be the market leader at the moment with the Absolute run. So maybe DC is able to just sell off to another publishing company that wants to actually publish printed comics. It doesn't have to stay Warner Brothers. But yeah, Netflix couldn't care less. That's why they won, by the way. That was the whole thing. They were able to do this. They were able to grow so quickly because they didn't have the studio. They didn't have the physical studio. They didn't have all the mechanisms that all the older companies had to. They were kind of like, it's like a, what's that saying? Something on your back. Anyway, Slavicon says, my mom loves Avatar. Women, maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm glad for your mother. I don't know. I never hear. I watch the guy. Yeah. Okay. Never makes you think. Doesn't make you feel. It's a weird thing watching a Avatar movie. All the more reason to find some other great sources of entertainment and build them up. Well, that's always the case. What's up, Jennifer Grover? She says she can't super chat tonight. Had to buy some gifts for some nieces. Love you, Michael. Not inappropriately. Great. Thank you very much. No problem at all, Jennifer. Always great to see you in the chat and your smiling face. Robert Kirkman could buy it, maybe. That would be dope. like Todd McFarlane or Kirkman or I don't know who's made like Mark Miller. I don't know who's made an absolute shit ton of money from comic books that could buy DC and just steer it forward and really focus on the good stuff and selling comics. That could be interesting. I don't know. This is all clear speculation now. This is early days. People are worried about the U.S. Department of Justice breaking it up. I don't think they should do that. I don't think we're there yet. There's still Disney. There's still other movie companies, TV companies and stuff. And usually what ends up happening when they break these things off is like what happened. Remember with Henry Ford, they broke up Ford and he just got richer. And then all these other smaller companies existed and it worked for a time until it didn't, until, you know, things collapse and everything. So I get the intention, but I don't think it's at monopoly status yet. I could be completely wrong. Could be just talking out my ass. Or that could happen. This could actually do the opposite and ruin Netflix. Yeah. Paramount's the other one. Sound like it was going to make base stuff if they had won. Yeah, I don't think anyone really knows, but interesting development. Seems like a lot been going on at Warner Brothers over the last 5 years. Can you imagine working at that company? Be like a friggin'... That's crazy. Netflix works with Miller on creating shows and having comics made in tandem with it. Why wouldn't Vatican City be DC's destiny in this scenario? Can you imagine? The great... And it would say at the start, based on the original comic series by Mark Miller and Per Berg on the movie or TV show. That would be so cool. I know that guy. Corey asks, are we going to be entertained as much watching what Netflix does as consuming what they produce? Well, I don't know. I mean, this is an event. I don't really expect to be talking about Netflix much in the future. I haven't even watched, like I said, I haven't watched Stranger Things yet. I'm just too busy doing other things. But I just discovered that HBO Max has a ton of old Kurosawa films. So now, presumably, Netflix owns HBO now, yeah? Because didn't Warner Brothers buy HBO? I don't know. Camel says, I can name at least 3 people who would not be happy about that. Some grumblers? Yeah, probably. And Mark Miller did actually promise Per that they would work again on another project when he writes the right story for him. I was actually looking at Rocky Ballesteros, checking out the Sin City stuff, and I can see a lot of influence on Per, on his art now in some of that old Frank Miller stuff. Really good, really cool pages. I've heard the 5th season focuses on the gay characters and everyone else in the background. Really? I've been purposely not trying to look at anything that anyone's saying about it, but I have heard people say it was really good and I have heard people say it was really bad. But which would be a shame because they took a long time to make it. All right, anyway, enough of that. A little closer to home. So Rippa has just announced that they're doing this thing called RippaWorks. Well, look, it says RippaWorks, the Rippaverse Animation Fund. Huh. I mean, I didn't get that gist. I thought he was just like gonna do Rippa branded crowdfunding, which is like, I don't know, this is kind of odd. I mean, I guess it makes sense. So he says it in this video. I suppose I won't listen to it because I've already listened to it, but I can play it. So it looks like it's moving. So up until now, they've been doing just, I guess it's like normal publishing. but with the skin of crowdfunding, because that's the good stuff of crowdfunding. I mean, obviously, like the best thing in a perfect world, the best thing about crowdfunding is you don't have any money and you have a great idea and you get enough people to get behind that idea and produce it. And that sounds amazing, and it is, and it certainly helped me. The reality is getting people to invest in you as a creator when you're kind of like a nobody is incredibly difficult. We've all run into that. So you can't, it's kind of like putting the chicken and the egg situation. What comes first? Crowdfunding works really well when you're already established and well known, or you're like working with a property that is already well known. Like, check this out. The SWAT cats. SWAT cats became the biggest ever one-off like floppy comic. There was just one thing. I thought that went to Berserker, but I guess that was like an ongoing book thing. I don't really know the difference, but yeah, apparently $730,000 from 6,500 backers is the new record for, what is it to say, like a single issue comic book. So yeah, like, I mean, and this book looks friggin' amazing. It's got that Jorge Corona art on it. And I didn't realize, like, people friggin' love SWAT cats. I didn't even really know about it. But yeah, so like, you can absolutely crush the game if you have an existing known popular IP. But other than that, it is a hard slog. And it's, a lot of people who've previously done crowdfunding in the past are actually going to what Ripper does now more, which is get the book produced, get it all done and finished, and then go to the crowdfunding platforms to really circumvent all the headaches that come with crowdfunding, which is, these things take a long time to make, and you're asking backers to wait a long time. And then, it's a whole ordeal with taxes and inventory and all sorts of stuff. I think all these creators need to stop putting comics on the back burner for stuff like TV, animation, and YouTube shows. I think that's really kind of what he wants to do. Like, that's what this would be for. Oh, I can gather. They've done their little animation tests here and there, and they look pretty cool. But I mean, that stuff, it was expensive. I don't know now with AI. I don't know what's going to be like the future. Crowdfunding has always been cool, Jay. It's just a hard slog. His crowdfunding animation venture, people acting like it's a sign his company is failing. That's been going on since his company launched. I know he seems to be doing pretty well to me. Didn't they make like $5 million this year or something? I don't know. Like, don't quote me on that. I saw that in passing. Just like Twitter, get famous first and success will follow. Yeah, I figured that same with poker as well. Like, make your money outside of poker and then go have fun playing poker. That's the way to do it, Slavicon says, I got burned too many times with crowdfunding. I only back people who are not reliable. That's another thing with crowdfunding that's unusual. It's kind of like, I guess it's like the downside of it. When you go into a store, like just say you buy a hot dog from a place, from a gas station or whatever, and it's like got some crap in it or something. You're like, oh my god. And you stop buying hot dogs from service stations. You don't stop buying hot dogs, but people do get burnt in crowdfunding, and they're like, I'm done. At least Slavicon is still buying from people who they know are reliable. But yeah, like it has left, the long wait times and stuff have left a bad taste in people's mouths. And now that's why a lot of people are moving towards, what Ripper has been doing up until this point. I guess he's still going to continue doing that with his comics, but I guess this is for like games and animations and things like that. We'll see how that goes. I think historically, animations and games don't have a fantastic reputation in crowdfunding, but then again, Eric has sort of like surprised a lot of people in the past. So people told me SWAT Cats was a forgotten property. Guess some of us remember. Man, I put out a short on the SWAT Cats and people were so happy. They were like, oh, thank you. I didn't know this was happening. And yeah, probably a lot of them went and backed it. Appreciated, Henry. I appreciate your trust. I wanted Tiger Sharks, the series. Stat says, I want to see crowdfunding used like training wheels. The idea should have been to walk alone, not keep it for years and years after repeated success. Yeah, well, it's just so, the benefit of crowdfunding is the risk of the business is dispersed across a lot of different people. So it's a lot of people putting in small amounts, spreading out the risk as opposed to the one person making that large investment. If the backers are happy doing that, I don't see the problem. But I think we've seen over time that backers do eventually start to think, I don't know if this is really what I want to be doing. Like backing you while you're making the book continuously, like forever and ever. And then I get the book, as opposed to just what they normally do is like buy something on Amazon. We have seen that trend. That's been the like trajectory, especially over the last 3 or so years. Good animation is still really expensive. I think it probably might even get more expensive with AI, because everyone is just kind of going towards AI. So to get real good animation would become rarer and more expensive, probably. I just know that everyone I've ever talked to about crowdfunding animation, they're all like, oh, talk to Fresher Luke about it. He has lots of opinions on that. What's up, John? Great to see you. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is going to be like toys, animation, statues, games, that sort of stuff. We'll see how it goes. And it looks like he's saying it's just going to run like a regular crowdfund, as opposed to what he does now, which is like publishing with a crowdfunded face. Let's see how it goes. Buying now will always be the best way. It's the problem then is, it's not really a problem for the backers. It's just a problem for creators, because actually getting stuff made up front is an investment. It's really difficult to do, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I've got this book, this one here that I was showing off earlier, this art here, not that guy. Wait, hold up, wait a minute. I've got this idea for a story. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to crowdfund it traditionally. I do think I am going to pay the artist up front to draw it. And that's going to be what? That's going to be like, I don't know, how much does a comic cost, to just get drawn? I think it's about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. But that's like that's the risk. But there's also risks if you crowdfund it, and like me, like I'm late already on my current one. I should be shipping it now, but I'm still finishing the colors. And then there's other risks, the taxes and stuff. So it is he's not technically a Viking. He's a Nordic warrior. He's pre-Viking from the Iron Age, about 300 to 400. No, even longer than that. Yeah, no, about 300 to 400 years before they became known as the Vikings. But he comes from those people. He's Nordic. It will be, so in that sense, yeah, Viking and wizard book in the Lucent world. It's going to kick a lot of ass. But it means I really believe in it. So I want to invest in it. He does look a bit like John Malkovich. Then look at that. John Malkovich could play the sub-Roman, exactly, pre-Viking. But yeah, I guess in that sense, it just means that I really believe in this story, and I'm going to continue to try to build my audience to the point where I think I'll have enough that we'll be able to make the investment come back and be worthwhile. But we'll see. Everything has changed so much in the last couple of years. It really has. Like the sentiment out there in the in the comic buying crowd with people such as Rick. I don't mind backing creators, but when it gets to be like 20 plus books and you wait and you wait and you wait, the interest drops. It becomes less fun. Exactly right. Exactly. And even, I feel that as a backer too. And I feel it as a creator too, when things linger and they drag and you're trying to get stuff out, but it's just taking so long. You lose some enthusiasm yourself because you want to get to the next things. That's why I was like, I want to draw. I have these ideas in my head and I want to see them. So you just like get the inspiration to draw because you're so excited about, doing new stuff. Alex says that I think it depends. If you're primarily a writer, I think fulfillment is important. If you're an artist, your time is always better spent drawing from a cost perspective. Sounds interesting. Dude, it's so cool. I've got it all plotted out, the synopsis. I just need to break it down into pages and, so finish the dialogue and everything. But this is sort of like going to be, months away. I've still got other things to do, obviously. This would be the next book that I would hire an artist to do. And I found an artist and he's on board. And I think he would be a great fit for this kind of story. Did you have to let it linger? John says he's still mailing them out as he speak. I guess that's from his newest campaign. The point is you can control the whole process. You can create a better product and you can also put more money in your pocket. Plus you're building an actual business that can grow. I don't know what specifically that is in relation to, but that sounds like good stuff. Speaking of growing the audience, just a little pat on the back here to me, and as we close the show out, I have been doing, if you do, I know like there's not much crossover between live streams and shorts, but if you do catch the shorts, I've been doing pretty much daily shorts, mixture of my own art, promoting some crowd funds. Like I promoted the Dave Brink's new Safeguard one, some existing books like the Man with No Strings, books that I like, Cull, the Shadow Kingdom, just some random stuff here and there, events, whatever. If something pops up like the Superman one, I did that. That was a fun story to do. This one here, though, check it out. This one here went absolutely bananas. And I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason why some of them just take off like a friggin' rocket. You'll see in the stats, it'll be like, it'll do like this, and then it just goes like that. And it's like, fly me to the moon. 302,000 views. I know views are cheap on shorts, and I know it's whatever, but I mean, it's still 300,000 times that a human eyeball, hopefully human. I never heard Mike Sigandalia. I am famously tone deaf, Camel. I really annoy my wife and kids when I try and sing. Citizen Ryan was talking about printing your own books. Oh yeah, like that's really cool. Actually, I asked the Diaz bros, like, so you guys just now printing on demand, pretty much? He's like, yeah. Now that they fulfilled, they can just print on demand. They don't have to sit on stock, and that's pretty cool. At least 299,000 ml. It's cool though, isn't it? Like, wow, it shows that this can work, and I've seen others do it. I've seen Odie, Theodoratus now does it with his stuff. He gets tons of views. He's kind of got his own niche going, but I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. So just going to continue doing that, trying to build that audience. And yeah, what would be really cool, because these actually start paying now. Like the shorts are actually paying. If you can get up to this number, they actually kind of pay decent-ish money. Like, so if you could stack, 15 or 20 of these a month at that level, you would be flying. And essentially then you could just pay for your the production of your comic through YouTube, that would be like brilliant. Does Eric print his own books? I don't think so. I think they have he's spoken about that. Eric July, he's spoken about like they do gang printing. Which is when you print a lot of different products, a lot of different print jobs through the one printer, you get a reduced discount. So this is good, better all around. What kind of money? Not like massive or anything. It's not like if I got 300,000 views on a video, I'd be legit rolling. But no, it's sort of like you get like, I think this will end up being, I don't know, like $40 or something like that, $40 or $50, right? US. So imagine you get like 10, 15, 20 of these, if you do one a day in a month continuously. And a lot of them are evergreen. They'll be going and then they'll just keep going. I got a Frank Miller short that I did 2 or 3 years ago that still goes. And it just keeps tipping in money. The issue is you got to like get up to that point where you've got enough of them that are actually going. It's not like doing a live stream where once it's done, it's kind of done. Exactly. It's pretty decent just for doing a short. And a short, like I try and keep these shorts down. They take me about 20 to 30 minutes to make. Sometimes they take a little longer and I start getting really annoyed because I don't want to be, spending time too much doing them. But yeah, 20 to 30 minutes. And obviously not all of them at this point are making that kind of cash. But, I was saying like I used to get freaking, when I was doing more pop culture focused stuff, I used to get crazy views. But they didn't have the current pay system then as they do now. So I didn't make hardly any money off them. But they changed it now. If you remember a few months ago, they changed it to engaged views on YouTube. So I get that's to stop people from, like those bot farms just clicking views and everything like that and charging ad revenue. So if you are a bot essentially, or you're not engaging with the video at all, then the advertiser doesn't pay. So then the advertisers pay more for engaged views, actual viewers, which means the creators get more from those engaged viewers. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, enough of this. Speaking of that, I got to get back to work. Let's see if anyone else is streaming. Going to my customizations. Where are we here? Where are we? Redirect. Who's live? I just see Cecil, and I'm not going to do Mad Ruth because I know Cecil, he has enough people already. Mad Ruth could probably use it a little bit more. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to get back to work. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all next week. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.
Thank you.